for the boys.
Woo! Oh, I fucked.
Good afternoon, guys. What is going on? Welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. So, right now, I just got a package in the mail, and it is from JBtuned. So I also have an affiliate page with JB. So if you want to get your own product and you want to help my channel out by helping me earn some extra money, then go ahead and hit that link that's going to be down below in the description if you want to order yourself some fuel lines. So essentially this is just going to be like a how-to video on installing your D-Series/B Series fuel line kit from JBtuned. Because if you guys watch my channel regularly, you would know that I have the JBtuned fuel line kit on my K-swapped Integra here. So this is all JB's lines, fuel filter, and so on and so forth. So very good product. I definitely like it. It looks good. It was made to order, so like it fits perfect. And I mean, mine being the first K-swap that he had to do in a DA, took a few tries, but we got it. But yeah, so this is a pre-cut kit for D-Series. This one's specifically for Del Sol, which I'm assuming is the same exact thing as EG Civics, like 92, 95. But it will work with both B Series and D Series. So if you have a D Series like I do, and you're planning on switching to a B Series like I am, then this is gonna work perfect for you. So let's go over what's in the kit. All right, so starting off right off the bat, right out the package, you're gonna have your two fuel lines. One's gonna be your return line, one's gonna be your feed line. And you're gonna have an inline fuel filter, which is really cool because it gets rid of that big old bulky one that's sitting on your firewall. So, and this is much better flowing, and it's also much cheaper to replace. But yeah, so you're gonna get that. You're gonna get yourself an elbow fitting or whatever you want to call it, and then yeah, but I don't know, a bunch of miscellaneous fittings. I don't know what they're all called, but I just know how to use them. So yeah, so this is what's gonna come right out of the box, right there. So this is gonna be a little bit easier to do tool-wise if you have some AN wrenches or whatever. So these are all -6 fittings. I unfortunately do not have one here. I had one at work, but I do not bring it with me. So you can just use like an adjustable wrench or a crest wrench, whatever, and it will do just the same. It just might round off the edges just a little bit, but that'll be okay. All right, I'm gonna just start with disconnecting the intake and the few things surrounding it. So unhooking the sensors and whatnot, just giving us a little bit more room to work around. Because obviously we got to take the fuel filter off and we got to do some trimming of the fuel lines, and just want as much room as possible so you make as little mess as possible. Alright, so with the intake and everything out of the way, you're going to want to probably put this together outside the car so you kind of know what you're doing here, because it does get a little bit confusing. So starting off, we're going to have the fuel rail right here. This is going to be the feed line. It's going to have the two fittings already on it, and the return line is going to have one piece just hose, like nothing on it. So yeah, just grab the return line or the feed line, and you're going to have to trim up your hard line there. That's why you're going to need a hacksaw or a Dremel or something, and then something to kind of clean it up with. So you're gonna want to grab the smaller of the two fittings that have like the taper on them, because they have little brass fittings inside of them, which is what helps create the seal. So these little brass fittings, so you don't want to lose those. So you're gonna be clamping that onto the hard line, and then the piece that you're gonna need now is this little the -6 to, I want to say, probably a -4. It's gonna thread in just like that. And you're not going to want to tighten everything up, obviously, until everything is in place. And then this is going to go onto the 90 elbow here. So that'll thread in just like that. And then off the elbow, you're going to be putting the fuel filter. Now there's an arrow on the fuel filter to signify the direction of the flow. So obviously you're going to be wanting it to flow from the line to the rail. And it's going to be pretty obvious because it's got a big end and a small end. So put the big end on the other side of this 90, just like that. And then the other end is going to thread onto the 90 on the feed line. So you're going to have something just like that. And then once you got that piece, what you're going to do next is you're going to have this little adapter which you're gonna have a crush washer. Mine's already just sitting up there on the car, but that is then gonna thread into the end of this piece, and the smaller end with the crush washer is gonna thread into the feed line on the fuel rail. And then when you get to your fuel pressure regulator, you're gonna have to take the hose off of it, which is where this piece comes into, this open piece of hose, and he gives you a hose clamp here, so he gives you extra length so that way you can trim it as you need. But yeah, so you're gonna trim it to length or whatever, put this on it, tighten it down, clamp it down really well, and then you're gonna have to trim the other fuel line and then use this big adapter. Again, it's got the brass fitting in there, so don't break it. And then it's just gonna be threaded in just like that. So you got your return line and then your feed line and your return line set up just like that. So now let's actually get it on the car and show you guys what we're talking about. All right, so starting off, we're gonna need a 12 mil, pop this top nut loose or top bolt loose on the feed line. Then on the next part here, it's gonna be a 17 mil, so go ahead and pop that loose. All right, so now we can go ahead and pop the line off of the fuel rail. And you're gonna be starting to leak some gas, but don't worry, you'll be fine. It's not gonna leak forever. All right, so now you can just take that whole fuel line, you can just set it off to the side. All right, so once you get your feed line off, you're gonna find that the banjo is gonna have like the bolt itself is gonna be attached to the fuel rail. So what I did is I just stuck 2 nuts on. I'm not sure the thread pitch to be exact. I think it's like M12 by 125 or whatever. So yeah, just find a bolt and then I thread the other piece on there. And now I already broke it loose, but yeah, you'll be able to just thread it off like that. So I'll go ahead and get this off and then I'll show you what it's like. Just like that. So now that that's off, we can kind of continue on with the rest of the work. All right, so next up we're gonna be taking this fitting off right here, and then we're gonna have to just cut the end of it off. So that's what the hacksaw is gonna be used for, and then I got a little file to clean up the edges a little bit. But yeah, so we'll be doing that, and then we're gonna be compressing the other fitting onto here. So that will give us obviously our fitting that we need, and then we can just basically just bolt it all up on this side, and should be all good. All right, so for this part, I'm gonna just cut off right where the flare tip is. So when I went to change out my blade, I found out that I actually had an actual pipe cutter, so I'm gonna just use this instead. So this just gonna be slapping it on here just like this, tighten it down, give it a few rotations, and go at it. Alright, just like that. So now we got this end piece off, and we can just slide the fitting right on. Alright, so I was mistaken earlier. This is the compression fitting part, so you're going to want the bigger one, not the smaller one for the feed line. So this piece with the tapered end is just going to slide on, and then as for the brass fitting itself, you're going to put it on the edge. It's not going to sit very flush, so what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to like gently tap it on. Make sure you don't crush it because it is brass, so it's really fragile. But get it on as far as you can, as far up to the center as you can, because when you're tightening everything down, if it's not on too far, you're gonna have a leak, and then you're gonna be kind of screwed, and you're gonna have to order another fitting. So, yeah. Alright, so it's a bit hard to see because it's out of focus and my camera's not wanting to focus, but you can see that the fitting is on there. So yeah, just like that. Alright, so now that you got that fitting put on, you can go ahead and put the other end of it on. As you tighten it down, it's going to compress that fitting. Obviously that's what it's supposed to do. So I'm gonna just wait to tighten everything down until I got it all put together. So now that that's on, we can go ahead and throw all this on. Alright, so there you go, and just like that you got the feed line installed. So JB designed it to be a little bit more tucked. Like I said, I'm not really trimming it up right now because I will be using this on my B series engine, and just because the fuel rail and setup and whatnot, I don't know personally if that alters anything. So I'm gonna just leave it the length that he sent it. So it'll have a little bit of slop here, but that's okay because I can just tuck this up more and you know, just push it out of the way. But yeah, so now I can go ahead and tighten everything down. And then moving on to the return side. This side is gonna be a little bit tight because of the lack of space down here, but essentially you're gonna just be doing the same thing with that, with the hard line that returns down there. You're gonna be using your pipe cutter, presumably, if you have one, to cut the end of that off and put the other fitting on there, which the other fitting is down there. So yeah, and then you're gonna be using the other end of the hose, the clamp, to get around here to the bottom side of the fuel pressure regulator. So obviously easier said than done, but yeah, let's get to it because I got to get this finished up. All right, so where that clamp is down there, that's going to be where your line goes to. It's hard to see right now because of the lighting, but yeah, again, then it's going to come up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull those two clamps off, pull the hose off, and then so pretty much, yeah, depending on which fuel rail you have, you're gonna have extra length of hose, because sometimes the fuel pressure regulator on D series is gonna be on this side, so that's what the extra length is for. So obviously mine's not, so I'm gonna have to cut this down to size. Alright, so just like that, we got our return line out. So let's get this other one trimmed up to length. Just trim it up like this, and we'll slap it in here. Alright, so again, I'm going to be using this pipe cutter here, so just loosen it up a little bit, and that's yeah, it's definitely a tight fit down here, but I think we got it. Alright, so you can see that I already got the compression fitting put on there, so I still got to tighten it down, but yeah. Just letting you guys, or showing you guys that I got it on there. So next part should be the easy part because that was definitely the hardest part. Again, get the other end of your fitting and put it on there. All right, so got the other fitting on. Now let's put the rest of the hose on. All right, so retract my previous statement. These two fittings right here, I don't know what they're called, but you're gonna have two of these. You're gonna have a bigger one and a smaller one. I said that you're gonna have two different ones because you're gonna have a possible different one for your fuel rail. I was wrong. Now that I'm putting it together on the return line, the smaller one is going to be for the return line. The other one is going to be for the fuel rail. So just clearing that up really quick. So I'm gonna just get this one threaded in, then I can cut the hose to where I need it, the length I need it, and then I can go in through and tighten this all down. Alright, so I got the fuel line hooked up here on the fuel rail, or on the fuel pressure regulator. So with these aluminum clamps or whatever, just be careful not to tighten it too much because you're gonna probably strip it if you do. So it's nice and snug here, line's not going anywhere, so obviously you're gonna have to test for leaks and whatnot. And then got the line attached down there too, so kind of hard to see, but yeah, now I'm gonna just go through, tighten everything up, and check for leaks, but should be good. Alright, so that's going to wrap up this video for the installation. Like I said, I just got to tighten everything down, check for leaks. You don't need to see that. You should already know that you have to do that anyway. But yeah, so if you guys found the video useful, if you enjoyed it, be sure to like, be sure to comment, because everything, all all activity on the video helps to push the video, which means more views, which means I might get a little bit of money out of it. And also, if you want to help support the build, help support the channel, be on the lookout for stickers dropping hopefully next Friday or next weekend. And also, if you need JBtuned products, use my affiliated link down in the description below. That way I get hooked up too. So yeah, other than that, guys, you know what to do. So do what you love, feed with the rest. Hopefully yours goes smoothly. This was kind of a pain in the butt, but it's not that hard. But yeah, best of luck to you guys. See you in the next video. Peace out. All right, so I just got everything tightened up and was checking for fuel leaks. Just wanted to show you guys quick that it's all running. So there's the feed line up to the rail here, and then got the return line here coming off down into there. So all's well and ends well. There you guys go.